Because I push people away. I just can't connect. There's just nothing there. There's just nothing there. That connection chemical is missing. I am brain damaged, probably. You know when you start to get to know someone and they start getting those googly eyes, like they have that face when they're listening to you, like, and you can feel the expectations ripening, and you can feel the connection, and it just makes my skin crawl. It gives me goosebumps. I don't like that. It makes me very uncomfortable because I feel like I'm losing my freedom because there's this expectation now to return the connection, and there's just nothing there. I'm hollow on the inside. I'm empty. I cannot return those emotions, those feelings, and that makes me push people away because I don't want them to figure me out. I don't want them to see the nothingness, the hollowness, the monster on the other side. And I can very vividly imagine, almost physically see it, sense it in their eyes. I can visualize the connection chemicals just swirling around in their brain bathing in these normal people chemicals that makes them like you and connect. And there's this disconnect between the speed at which they, in their head, have already become your friend and you haven't even connected with them yet. So they're already setting expectations, like they want to hang out with you, they want to talk to you more, they want to do things with you, and you're like, oh, slow down. Slow down, man. They're already married to you in their head, and you're still kind of like, just a bit of distance, please. I think it's because I'm brain damaged. This video. I'm not trying to, and I know a lot of people will have this kind of negative reaction to, oh, look at you. You choose to push people away, bro. I've tried my whole life. I've been rejected. I've tried to make friends, but it doesn't. This is not to upset you guys. I'm not making this video to upset any. This is not like rage bait, clickbait, whatever you want to call it. This is just me being a weirdo, just explaining objectively and calmly my brain damage. And in my last video, I got accused of, maybe it's the thumbnail, I look kind of menacing or depressed with those dark circles under my eyes or whatever, and I gave you guys the wrong impression. I'm not depressed. I'm not nihilistic. I was nihilistic when I was a teenager. You know, it started off as, man, nothing matters, man. And as I grew, it grew into and morphed into more of a, nothing matters, bro. Relax. You know, that kind of thing. This is the kind of vibe I want to start this video with. I don't want to bog you guys down with this. This is not a doomer video. It's not to depress you. It's to break down objectively and analyze and reflect back on what led you here. Am I brain damaged? What led me here? What can I do about it? And when you reflect back on these things, when you're brutally honest with yourself about why you're like this, there's a sort of, you accept it and you're able to move on. And there's a freedom in that. For instance, I don't care. It doesn't affect me that I don't have friends, that I don't have a job, that I've been homeless, that I don't have a girlfriend, that I don't have a car. That doesn't affect me. It doesn't stress me out. Other people that having no friends, man, having no girlfriend, having no partner, that can lead to some really dark paths for a lot of people. Not me. You could hose me down with normal people problems and the water will just roll right off me. I'm waterproof when it comes to that type of thing. 10 years ago when I looked up, I typed, I've never felt lonely. And there were no results. No one was talking about this. I stumbled upon a wiki page describing schizoid personality disorder. No, it's not schizophrenia. And for the actually people, they know that just because a word starts with schiz doesn't mean you're schizophrenic. It's more like, with schizophrenia, it's a break with reality. With schizoid, it's a break within yourself. A schizoid person is someone who prefers solitude, who is unlike an avoidant person. They are genuinely unbothered and unfazed by loneliness. We don't feel stressed out from loneliness. We don't need friends. Other people smother us. We feel like we're being robbed of our freedom. Just like I said, I don't want to diagnose myself, but I have traits from that particular disorder. And like I said, I've felt it my whole life. It's just a void. It's just a lack of need is the best way I can describe it. I don't need friends. And before anyone jumps in to say, oh, bro, it's because you're privileged. It's because you've never been through a real pain and suffering. You've never needed help. I've been homeless for 6 months because I chose it. And whenever I'm suffering, and I have had struggles with alcoholism and all that, I just lock myself in my room. I don't bother other people with my suffering. I don't like help because that means that I am subcontracting my freedom to someone else. I'm losing my freedom when I ask for help. And I've always tried to be that kind of guy who troubleshoots their own problems, and I don't bother other people with them. When you expose yourself as the odd one out, you expose yourself to... You can see this. A lot of normal people cannot process it in their brains. They just look at you with this kind of... I don't mean to use the meme terminology, but that zoomer look, they just kind of like they cannot, you can see that the gears are spinning in their head, but they cannot process how someone doesn't have that need. For me, it's like, and I usually ask them, bro, do you feel like eating sand randomly? And most people don't. Some people do, interestingly enough, but most people don't. And that's what it's like for me. Do you feel like doing something that you don't want to do? And they just don't get it. And it just opens you up for scrutiny and judgment, and these improvers and people with strong opinions come into your life, imposing stuff on you, assuming things about you. Like in my last video where I was accused of being some dude said, okay bro, just make sure you don't do a shooting. Bro, do I really give off these vibes of this angry... I don't want to associate with these kind of people, these angry, needy people, because they're needy. They're too needy for me. And I want to tie this into my last video where I talked about how I chose homelessness over slavery, and the comments were mostly positive, and I thank you guys for that, because I don't have friends. I don't have that self-editing system that you get when you interact with other people, because they introduce different viewpoints, different angles, different arguments and experiences that kind of fill your blind spots. And I want to thank you guys for that, because there were mostly positive comments of people relating and sharing their story about their suffering. But there were also a couple of, I wouldn't call them hateful, but more like commanding and gatekeeping. Like it felt like they came in with this energy of gatekeeping suffering. So just because you don't have 15 disabilities, or just because you don't break your back at work, you don't know anything, bro. You're privileged, you work a coffee job, even though I don't, so you don't know anything. You don't suffer like I do, so you don't know anything, so shut your mouth. I have to walk on crocodiles on my way to work with this massive rock on my back. I have to roll that rock to the top, to the peak of the mountain like Sisyphus, and when I reach the top, it's only so that I can get attacked by birds who peck at my organs. You know, that kind of person who discredits your suffering because you don't suffer in that hyper-specific way that they do. And I'm not trying to discredit, and this is not a channel where, and I'm not going to tolerate this kind of gatekeeping where you attack others and disrespect others for their suffering, because we all have different thresholds for pain and how we experience pain and the type of pain that affects us the most. Some people suffer more psychologically, other people suffer more physically, and I understand that. Just because you work an office job doesn't mean you don't want to, you know what I'm talking about. And that's why I like doing these. It's a vulnerability video. It's a space where I want you guys to feel safe. I want you guys, it's a confessional space where there's no judgment, and I'm gonna make sure to keep the gatekeepers to suffering away from you guys so you can express yourselves, because without you guys, I have a lot of blind spots. I don't have friends, I don't talk to people, and you guys have helped me tremendously in the last video, which exploded, by the way. I did not expect it to explode. I learned from my successes this kind of loserdom, and I wouldn't call it loserdom content, but it's kind of, objectively, it's kind of a loserdom type of niche where you just being vulnerable, but not in a way that complains, not in a way that aims to gatekeep suffering, or define suffering, and attract this kind. Because I don't read psychology. I'm not educated in that topic. I'm just trying to explain my experiences in my own words that are more relatable. Because, you know, I don't want to attract these actually, there's terminology, you know, these kind of people, the actually people that always like to over categorize and get bogged down in word use, and this is not the optimal term for that. There's another term, you're talking about this, you actually, what you're doing is you describe it. I don't want to attract these kind of people. I just want a place where you don't, because I don't have profound thoughts. I'm not a genius. I can just express myself very eloquently, and I see myself as a kind of just some dude with a camera with a goofy East European accent, trying to be this pressure release valve for people's grievances, I guess. And I want this to be a positive space. I want you guys to come here and chill, and I don't want to hold you guys' eyeballs hostage to my videos, because I'm not going to be blowing your mind with insane visuals and editing. This format, posting videos and keeping you guys at arm's length, because I can always close the tab and walk away from the screen, is, I think, the optimal way for a weirdo like me who has handicaps and difficulties connecting with others to still have some kind of feedback, because it does help. And you can call me out on this contradiction on, well, I thought you said you were schizoid. Why do you still want to connect with people? For me, it's intellectual curiosity, just to see what happens. I'm doing it for a obviously very selfish reason. It's self-accountability. And I'm trying to make something out of it to make it look like it's not selfish, but it's still selfish, by encouraging you guys to share your story, let your voices be heard. Again, same as last video, like and subscribe if you found this relatable. If you don't, if you disagree, challenge me. Offer your viewpoint, offer your arguments, because I have a lot of blind spots. As someone who self-isolates, even though I do go outside, I still have a ton of blind spots, and I cannot anticipate and predict how other people may disagree. So this is always greatly appreciated. I want to hear about your stories. I want to read your comments and how you approach this topic. Does it cause you a lot of pain that you don't have friends? Do you not care? Are you still in the stage where you're wondering why you have this lack of need, why you have that void, just like me? If you're in that discovery stage and you don't know what's going on, I hope I managed to answer some questions. And if I haven't, let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.